everyone, so today I'm filming a college freshman advice. I filmed one of these last year that I'll link up here and you guys seem to really like it, so I figured I would do another one because there are so many things that I want to tell you guys and make sure that you guys are best prepared before coming to college in the fall. So yeah, without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the video. Okay, so the first thing is stuff to do like in the summer when you're registering and planning for your classes in the fall. So really use Rate My Professor. This app is literally so important in college because it really helps you get to see like how the class is like, if the teacher is really hard, if they're easy, and a lot of students will talk about like their experience in the class, if you're going to need the book, and all of that. Like, especially since you guys are going to be taking like a lot of gen eds, there's so many classes that you guys can take, so you guys can like see what professor is teaching the course and then look them up and then compare them with other professors and see which class would be a better fit for you and which ones are easier, because there are so many classes that you'll just see them like, oh, that sounds really interesting, and then you look up the professor and everyone's like, do not take this class, like it's terrible, or vice versa. A class that doesn't seem really interesting, you end up like looking it up and seeing that it's actually like a super good class and everyone really liked it. So that's such an important tip. So make sure you guys use Rate My Professor for planning out your schedule for the fall. So the next thing is to attend your welcome events like your first week of school. So at most colleges, like they have their first week of school, they have like a ton of welcome events for like freshmen and different things for you guys to get to know each other and get better immersed with your new school. And I highly recommend you guys go to these. Our school, like at the U of A, they had like this huge like concert thing like on one of the days, and it was so much fun. I actually went to it, and like they had like a DJ. A lot of people go, but then also a lot of people are like, no, I'm not gonna go. And I really suggest you guys go because right away you'll feel like super immersed with your new school, and it's just super fun to get to know people and to really get excited for the new school. So I definitely think you guys should attend as many welcome events for freshmen as possible. Okay, and the next thing is you'll probably like fail a test or two or three a lot in college. Like, it's not like high school. You may think you did really well and then you end up like seeing your test score and you did terribly. And I want to tell you guys, like, do not beat yourself up about it at all. There was a couple times where like the first test I took I failed and I was like, oh my gosh, I was expecting to get an A in this class, how am I gonna like recover from this? And both times I ended up getting an A in the class, because you just like don't stress yourself out if you're like, oh my gosh, like I'm done, like I'm gonna fail this class. Like really like use that as motivation to do better on the next test and study, and you will like end up being okay, like as long as you change like your new study habits and really focus on the things that you need to work on, because you'll be able to like still manage a good grade even if the first test you took is like a bad one, especially if like it's your first class in college. You took your first test and you're like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna do so bad. It's not the end of the world if you fail a test. You'll still probably pass the class. There are other things that will help your grades, so I wouldn't worry about that too much. You guys got this as long as you guys continue to study. And that leads me into my next thing, is to go to office hours and start building relationships with your professors. This is such a huge one because there has been many times where even in class now, I'm not able to go to the office hours because he only has them like once a week, but one of my friends goes like a day like before our test, and he literally will like give her like the answers for the tests. And people who like don't go to office hours like don't know those answers. So it's so important to go to office hours because your professors are really trying to help you and really want to make sure you get a good grade on their tests and really make sure you succeed in the course. So by you going to office hours and making that relationship with them, you're gonna end up seeing like probably way better scores on your exams than previous, because they are really trying to help you and you don't know if they're gonna be giving you the answers to the test. So just make sure you guys go to office hours and start building that relationship with your different professors. So yeah. Okay, so for the first day of school, when you get your syllabus, make sure you guys write that all down in your planner. It's so important because you're probably going to end up taking like 5 different classes, and you want to make sure you don't miss any assignment. That was like a huge one for me, because in high school, a lot of the times our teachers would write like, okay, this is due tomorrow, and they'd like write it down like on their board, and you're like, okay, and then you just put it in your planner and you're like, okay, I have to do this tonight because it's due tomorrow. But in college, like, they're not gonna do that and remind you like, oh, that's due tomorrow or that's due next week, make sure you get that done. They're gonna rely on you making sure that you're looking at your syllabus, because it tells you like all the due dates and when everything is going to be coming due. So you want to make sure that you guys actually look at that and write down like everything for that course, whether it's like when a quiz is going to be, when an exam is going to be, when a paper is due. Trust me, that's so important, so make sure you write down everything from your syllabus. And I know like your first year could be really overwhelming, and you're probably going to question if like you're not sure what you want to do yet. And just remember that that's okay. Most people like don't know what they want to do yet either, and you'll definitely have time to figure it out, kind of like with different classes you take, and as you're growing up you'll end up figuring out what you want to do. So do not worry about if you're not sure what you want to do yet. You definitely have a couple years to figure that out. I definitely have friends who are still not sure what they want to do yet, but you will end up figuring it out. So do not worry about that, because most people are in the same boat as you. And my next tip is to branch out and hang out with more people than you are already comfortable with, because there's so many people in college, so many new people to meet. You don't want to just keep hanging out with the same group of people that you either came to college with or already knew from like the first couple weeks of school. Really use your first year to get to know as many people as you can and build all those relationships, and then hang out with like all of them throughout the year, because you'll probably end up meeting like so many awesome different people from so many different groups on campus that is going to be super beneficial to you in the long run. So I would definitely highly recommend you guys to not just stay and hang out with the same people, and really branch out with the people you are hanging out with. And the next thing is to make your college experience what you want it to be. I know like before you go to college you probably have an idea of what you want your college experience to be like, and for the most part you guys pretty much have the power to kind of make that happen. If you guys want to be super involved, do it. If you guys want to go to all these football games and basketball games and all these things, do it. If you guys don't want to really focus on the social life and really focus on just your studies, and do it. Like, you literally have the power to make your college experience what you want it to be like. So start thinking about how you envision your college experience to be, and really start taking those steps to make it happen, because you guys totally have that power too. Okay, and my next thing is to really value your time with your friends in college, because it really does go by so fast, especially your freshman year. And I'm already halfway through, and I'm like, how? Like, I literally could be here for 5 more years. It just goes by so fast, and you really want to make sure you're valuing your time that you're spent with your friends. Instead of just being in your room all day, you really want to go and hang out with a lot of people and surround yourself with a lot of people, because you're never going to get this time back, and you don't know where you're going to be a year from now or even after college. Most of my friends are from Arizona, which is sad, because I'm sure like after college there's like a 99% chance I won't be back in Arizona. So it's kind of sad. So you really want to make sure you're really valuing that time that's spent with all the people you met in college. Okay, and the next thing is that doing your laundry in dorms can get really expensive, because you have to pay for like each load and for each washer and dryer you use, which is super annoying because the tuition's already crazy expensive, and you're like, why can't that just be a part of it? Yeah, I know, it's really annoying. But in order to save money, which I like didn't start doing until like midway half the year, because I didn't really think about it, but you guys can mix your laundry. Like, I know you're taught like to do like your darks, your reds, and your whites, and do that if your clothes are new. But if they're not new, like, you'll be fine putting them all together. Even now, like, I just throw everything that's in my hamper in the washer, and I've never had an issue with anything. And I've talked to my other friends, and they said, oh yeah, I do that too. Like, especially to save money in college, because in the beginning I would separate my loads, and plus they would be really small loads, because, you know, it's just me. So you don't have to separate all those loads in different colors and then pay for all that. You literally just put it all together. As long as like you didn't just buy like a brand new red t-shirt and put it in with your whites, then that would be bad. But if it's already been washed, it's okay to put it all together, so that you guys can save money on laundry. And also, if you go to University of Arizona, you do have to use your CAT card in order to use the laundry. Like, you can't just use a regular card or anything, or actual money. Like, you have to use the CAT card. And that leads me into my last tip, which is, if you guys do have a CAT card, like, I would recommend loading all your money onto your CAT cash instead of getting a meal plan. I've talked to other people about this, and they've bought meal plans, and they're like, yeah, it's annoying because I could only eat food that's on campus, and you have like a certain amount of money that you won't get back if you're not going to use it. And so it's just better to just load it as you go for places if you want to go eat around campus and not only on campus, because there's so many restaurants like around campus that take your CAT cash. So it's better than having to just stay on campus and use your meal plan when there's a certain amount of money that you won't get back if you don't use it. So that's another thing if you go to U of A. And those are all of my college freshman tips. Again, be sure to check out my video that I made last year for a lot more tips than I talked about. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, be sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe down below if you haven't already, and I'll see you on my next video. Bye guys!